Hi guys, Madmable77 here, and relax. As you may have seen by the images, there's probably a couple of images before this video started. They're just some relaxing images from my walk yesterday. I live right on the edge of a town. Next to my house is fields, so I often go for a walk for a couple of hours across the fields, like I will do again later. That was just some pictures, and there will be through this video, because I filmed this video in 3 parts, so between the 3 bits there'll be some relaxing pictures. This is a film I'm doing mainly for one of our members, willh. He wanted to know about raking, specifically the Southord C2010 set, which I have here, and out here is the rakes from that set, so I'm going to go through them. I'm going to go through what they're commonly called, what they're commonly designed for, and I say designed for because they're not always used as they're designed. And then in the second bit of this video, I'll get the camera set up on my cutaway lock, and I'll quickly just scrub each rake in and out to show you what it does and how it acts with the pins. So let's start. You'll have these rakes in your set, and we'll start with the easy ones. There's these two, which is a full ball and a double ball. I'll show you what you do with them. That's what you do with them. You throw them away. They're pretty much useless. To be honest, they're okay for wafers, but other than that I'm struggling to find a use. Right, so let's get into the real rakes. This is, as you see, this is the one you successfully got an open with. That is called a W rake or a batang. There's loads of other names, but primarily that is what is known as a kinetic tool, i.e. for zipping. You use the kinetic energy. You can tell a kinetic tool, they tend to have sharper points at the top, designed for zipping and snapping them pins up quickly, like a bump key, whereas sort of scrubbing tools tend to be more rounded at the top, like snake rakes and things like that. So that's the first one. That's a zipping tool. Sorry, getting in the camera. Number 2, we have what is known as the city rake, or the L rake. That looks like a key. Most of us, myself included, use a scrubbing technique on this one in and out, but that's not actually what it's designed for. It's actually designed primarily as a lifting tool or a rocking tool, like this, very softly, or lifting like this, to approximate the key's bitting, which is why it's shaped like this. You kind of, is that it? No, what about there? No, what about there? No, that's what it's designed for, but it actually works very well, as you'll see, if you use a forward and backward soft scrubbing motion with slight variations on the up and down. That works well as a scrubber tool as well. And then we have these 3, which are the snake rake family. Again, these are all designed for the same thing. Some point up, some are flat. I tend to only use the flat one, but they're for scrubbing technique, which is basically going in and out like so, manipulating all those pins at once, and also going up and down with the rear as you go in and out, trying to set those higher pins. The thing to remember with rake and whatever technique you're doing, you need to start with very, very, very light tension. In fact, my first couple of strokes are usually with no tension, and then I just kind of rest my finger on the tension wrench without even pushing, and that's where I'll start. And then I'll add a little bit more tension as I go, and I'll generally start scrubbing like that, and then start adding angles in higher and higher as I go. But really, the only way I can describe doing that to you is you just need to do it and try. And the best way I've found is, don't have all your tools out, just bring one out. Say, get yourself 10 locks off eBay, cheap. Start with a W rake, spend one night going through the 10 locks with nothing but the W rake. Next night, put the W rake away, bring the next rake out. Spend the whole night with the 10 locks and just that one tool. I found that was the best way I got to learn them. There's 2 more tools you'll probably hear everyone speaking about that aren't actually in your set, but I'm going to show you. And that is the snake rake, which is this fellow here. He's very rounded, again designed for scrubbing. And of course, the bow guitar. Which is not really a rake at all. You can rake with it, but really it's a soft scrubbing, lifting motion. You're trying to lift those pins. It's almost an in and out and a lift at the same time. You kind of go around in an oval like that, and it's a soft lifting motion, not violent at all like raking. These are generally thinner, and you would probably break them if you give it the digging. But that's generally your tools. Your tension wrenches, just to say, top of the keyway you'll struggle with, because to get up, unless you've got a very long pin in chambers 1 and 2, you're going to need to get up at an angle like this. So you're going to knock that tension tool out. So you tend to use bottom of the keyway tools. But what you'll find is these longer tools like this one here, this piece here, the problem with that is it goes so deep in the keyway. When you've got it in and you're going up and down like this, that robs you of that angle, because you can't get up there like that because of the tension tool. So I tend to use tools such as this. This one's a better one. Double-ended, as you can see, one end's very short. That's the end I try and get in the bottom of the keyway. That gives me a bit more, so I can then get down at this angle here. So that's just what to say about tension tools. As I say, with raking, always go in with literally 0 tension and then add the tension from there. So that just about covers the tools. I shall cut now to the lock, and I shall show you very, very quickly how they interact with the pins. Right, we're back for the last part, and hopefully you can see this cut out. To be honest, this is going to be quite short, because I really only need to show you 2 or 3 different styles, because a lot of the rakes are based on the same style. So I'm going to start off with the most common style, which uses the snake rake, the ones you said to me you haven't got much time or don't use too much. And basically that is in and out, a scrubbing technique. You'll see me, I start scrubbing like that, and then as I go on, I then start adding in the angles, looking for those higher and lower pins. I'm not trying to set this lock, I'm just trying to show you how the rake reacts with the pins. So you go in, I generally go in with no tension, and then as you can see, as I pull that back and forth, you should be able to see how the pins just go up and down. And all you do is, I have to be careful on this device because it's not bolted down, just in and scrubbing like that, and as you can see, the pins go up and down as I go in and out like so. As I say, I'm not trying to open up, but if I was to put tension on, as you'll see, some of them pins have actually gone up and they're very near the shear line. Again, that was only a slow version. I would usually be going in much quicker, but my voice isn't bolted down. That's just to show you how you go in. Again, the W rake, the one you're used to, zipping, you actually used it like I just showed you, use that one, and that's fine if it gets you an open. There's no right or wrong way. This is, however, primarily designed as a kinetic tool. I'll do this without the tension wrench because I'll try and hold my voice. As I say, I'm not actually trying to get an open, I'm just trying to show you the technique. And this is zipping, and it's called zipping because it goes zip as you come out. So you go in, you go to the back of the keyway, and to start with I'll put a little bit of upward pressure, but not a lot, and you just zip the rake out. As you can see, my voice isn't bolted down, but you go in, tiny bit of upward pressure, not a lot, and you zip. And you do that like that, and you'd go in again, zip again, and you may do that 2 or 3 times. And the important thing with zipping is between each zip, between each one of those, you don't take the tension off. What you're trying to do is zip it out, set a couple of pins, you keep the tension on to keep those pins set, and zip again. Once you've done 3 or 4 zips, you may have overset something, so then take the tension off, start again. That's zipping. Then you've got the city rake. Again, I mean, this is a great one to show you scrubbing with, even though that's not what it's designed for, because it just manipulates the pins so well. As I was saying, a scrubbing technique, you can see as I go in with that pick, it's manipulating all those pins as I go back and forth, and you can see them moving up and down, you know, and I can put more upward pressure to get them to go higher. But this is actually primarily used as a lifting tool or a rocking tool. So you'll put it in and you will softly rock it like that to try and approximate the bit, and you may come in and out a little bit to try and get all those pins. Or it's a lifting tool, you get it in the keyway and you lift up no, you try it out a little bit, lift up again. That's what it's designed for, but as I say, most people use it as a scrubbing tool. It works very well, as you can see with the pins there. As I go in and out, you can see the pins jumping up and down. It works very well as a scrubbing tool, although that's not what it was primarily designed for. It's one of those tools, probably works better as what it's not designed for than what it was. But the important thing with these tools is there's no right or wrong way. Well, there is a wrong way. If you break the tool or get it stuck, then it's wrong. But other than that, you're just trying to get it open. And the only other style to speak of is with the bow guitar, which is kind of a cross between the two. You'll go in, and I'm doing a little round motion, and as you can see with the pins, as I go up and down, the pins are going up and down, and what I'm trying to do with the tension is as the pins go up to the shear line, they stay there. And you'll find this is a hugely successful tool. If you can get yourself one of these, definitely get yourself one. To be honest, that and this, which was personally made for me by Rev Tattoo, if you look at this, it's actually the first two peaks are very much like a bow guitar, and the last one's more rounded like a snake. It's kind of got the best of both of those tools and no drawbacks of either. You can do the lifting, but this is also very good for violent in and out raking, as I say. So that's the tools you have got, and a couple that you haven't, but they're your basic styles. You've got scrubbing in and out, changing those angles. You've got zipping, make the zipping noise with the W rake. You've got rocking and lifting, and then you've got kind of a soft figure of 8 scrub with the bow guitar. That's about it really. As I say, tension is the key. I know everyone always says that, but with raking especially, you're trying to get just the right amount of tension to get those pins up and let them set, but not too much you lock the whole lot up. So I hope that helps our user willh out. As I say, thank you very much, and after this, for those members that are interested, I've got a little bit of a show and tell of the tools I've got around here. Christmas this year I had one 24-piece Gosso set and 2 Yale mortise locks that I'd taken off my door over the past 5 years when I changed my locks. That was all I had. In the last 3 months, everything else I've got has been due to my addiction coming onto UK Locksport in the last 3 months, so that's following now. Thank you very much, Madmable77. Madmable77 here. Just in addition to the video, I'm going to do a bit of a show and tell, because I know a lot of people have been recently, so if anyone's wondered what my place looks like or what tools I've got, here we go. Just to let other newbies know, January this year, about 3 months ago, all I owned was a Gosso 24-piece set, a Yale lock, and a couple of tension tools. So everything you see me show you now is what I've collected in the last 3 months. So let it be a warning to anyone about how bad this addiction can get. So firstly, we have a box of metals. There's starrett, there's brass bar, all different sorts of metals in there to make tools, picks, everything you need. This one is all the attachments for my polishing machine. There's the Dremel attachment and polishers and mops and cutter wheels and all sort of things like that go in that box. This box here on the top has my grinder. There's a Dremel in that box. That's various tools, sandpapers, heat shrink, things like that. Then over here we have a box with collection locks in. There's Assa Abloys in there and a Sargent and Greenleaf. Here we have a general lock box that's just got loads of locks in that I'm picking, have picked, or whatever else. We've got my work table, which has got a pinning mat and a couple of locks that are being made up for the competition, a few tools, bits and bobs. That's a box I got from Mark D to pick and send on. That's competition lock parts that I've put in a tub to keep them safe. Some locks there on the back to go to Rev, some keys there on the back to go to Rev, bump keys I've made for him. And lastly and not least, we have 2 toolboxes. This one's general tools. This one is all pinning stuff, everything to pin locks and also to make pins. There's bar and stuff in the top there. And then that is a laptop bag, but that's actually what I put all my tools in. I've emptied most of it out. That's where all my picks and stuff go, and that's how I carry them around. I've emptied it out and put it on the arm of the chairs for you. I've left a few tools in there, screwdrivers and such. You don't need to see them, but in my bag I carry bump hammer, big set of ring of bump keys that I've made. Bump and washers. I carry a tubular pick set, a set of bypass combs. In this roll here is all my picks. There's 3 or 4 sets of picks in there, Southord set, Mad Bob set, Sparrows, loads of different bits and bobs. Some sheets for another bypass, a cheap plug spinner if I go the wrong way, and in there I've got tension tools and I think my disc detainer. Sorry, I'm trying to open it one-handed. Yeah, my disc detainer pick lives in there, as you can see. And that basically, as you can see, is the tour of what the front room of my flat looks like. Thank you very much, guys.